It is Tuesday, December 9th, just after lunchtime, and let's see what time it is, 12:55. I'm getting ready to go back to the scene of one of my crimes where I tipped over the Tiger 900, and it was on a dirt road that kind of connects up Forest Road 31 to the Everett Memorial Highway. And so I'm going to take this over up 31 over that dirt road, and then I'm going to go a little further up the Everett Memorial Highway, and there is another little bit easier dirt road that takes you back to FR 31 and then back. So I'll make a little bit of a loop, not much. So we got really nice weather this week. I think around Sunday or Monday it's going to change. We're going to get into a wet period, probably rain here, maybe snow up in the mountains. I hope so. Ski area needs it. But I'm going to enjoy this week while I have it. High temperature today is going to be upper 50s, tomorrow lower 60s, and I think several days in a row there'll be lower 60s, which for middle of December is pretty amazing. Again, I've been riding a lot of dirt and mountain roads, and so I'll be curious to see what the gas mileage comes out to this time. I'm still not revving it up very high. Got to keep remembering to not rev it up high. You just naturally tend to want to. For a little while, I'm through making modifications to the bike. I have got a new gear shift lever ordered. Got a green tip on it, which that's kind of cool, but that's not the main reason. The stock gear shifter doesn't have a folding tip, and I'd rather have a folding tip, just a better chance of not bending and breaking the gear shift lever on a tip over. And a skid plate. The skid plate I originally got from Ricochet just wouldn't work. So I have got another one ordered from High Volt, which is an Asian company. No idea when the skid plate will show up, and actually no idea when the gear shift lever will show up. I'm sure they're probably both coming from somewhere in Asia. Who knows? Now, Kawasaki 230s, they make a wide variety of them, but they're very popular in countries like India and Nepal and Vietnam and who knows what all. Those countries, they tend to ride lower displacement, smaller motorcycles, and over there, this would be considered a fairly large, high displacement motorcycle. But as a result, there are lots of parts and things that are made over there, which you can get shipped over here. Here's an interesting little thing I read in the last few days. Kawasaki is selling more motorcycles in this country than any other manufacturer. Now, it doesn't say about dollar volume, but it always used to be Harley forever. And Harley is number 3 on the list right now. I think Honda was number 2. Kawasaki's selling the most. Now, part of the reason is Kawasaki tends to make lower cost motorcycles, which, there's an appeal to buying a little lower cost motorcycle. But they're high quality. They're good bikes. Honestly, I've owned Hondas and Harleys and all kinds of things, but I think quality on a Kawasaki is right up there with the best of any of them. I've started putting together a list of all the motorcycles that I've owned my whole life. And I think I'll make a short video at some point, just kind of list them off. Maybe say a few words about each one of them. I'm kind of struggling with the issue of putting pictures of them into this video because YouTube has all their copyright restrictions. I looked at a number of commercial sites where you can buy pictures, and my test on every one of them is I went to it, and before I signed up for it, I did a search on Honda Trail 55 and Honda S65. Those are some of the first bikes that I ever owned when I was a kid. And I came up with bunkus, no pictures. Now, if I do a search on the web, I get lots of pictures of the Trail 55 and the S65, but not from some commercial site where you can pay them to have use of it on a site like YouTube. So I've got a head scratcher here. One of my possibilities would be just talk a little bit about each bike and maybe on screen put a link which would show you where you could find pictures of the bike. Or, and boy, I'm kind of a little bit torn on this one, just go ahead and grab some pictures off the web and put them up and see if YouTube gives me a big strike on doing it. If I was to do that on like 20 motorcycles and each one was a strike, I'd be off of YouTube instantly. I think you get 3 strikes and you're out. So that bothers me. Now there's a fair use principle that if you're using them for educational purposes or non-commercial purposes and such, you can use them. But that's a little bit of a head scratcher for me also, because my website is not commercial and I don't think it ever will be. But am I using them for educational purposes? Well, kind of, yeah. Educating people on old motorcycles and things that I've ridden. So I don't know. I don't know when I'll get around to actually making that. I've just kind of started putting together the list of the bikes. Anyway, I'm up on FR31 right now. I don't think it's going to be a huge distance up here to where I will turn off, and there's probably some FR number on this road, but I don't know what it is offhand, certainly. Okay, here is the road that I dropped the Tiger on. I don't know if I'll get into anything that's fairly soft on this road. That's what put me down when I was on the Tiger. I hit some moon dust. Right now, if anything, it's just a little bit damp. When it's damp, that compacts your silt and sand, so you get a lot better traction. You don't sink in so much. But either way, this is a dual sport bike. It's not a 500-pound Triumph Tiger 900. So I don't expect to wind up dropping this bike, but if I do, I think I can lift it. I've put it down and lifted it up maybe 4 or 5 times now when I was working in the garage on the bike, and especially when I was trying to see if I couldn't figure out some way to get that skid plate from Ricochet on, which I knew it didn't really fit. It was shaped right for the frame rails, and so it fit real snug, but there was just nothing to bolt it onto. And so I tried to work out various and creative ways of trying to get it bolted on. I finally gave up. But I was laying it down on its side then to get a little better angle, working with that skid plate on the bottom of the bike, and picked it up, like I say, 3 or 4 more times. So I've had it on its side and back up a number of times, and instead of doing the old put your back to it and raise it up, kind of using your legs, I was just kind of crouching down beside it, grabbing the handlebar and just lifting it. Light enough I can do that, which is nice. By the way, moon dust is just kind of a common term people throw around for a really deep, really fine silt. You know, the stuff is just really powdery and your bike sinks right down into it. When you got knobby tires on, especially on a lightweight dual sport, I mean, I've never had any trouble getting through that stuff. On your adventure bikes, there are people that do it, and actually, that time I tipped it over, I wound up having a couple guys help me get it back upright. And I couldn't continue on. I was kind of buried in the moon dust, so with their help, we backed it up about 20 or 30 feet, and I just got a little run at it, and then I was able to ride through it. I just wasn't anticipating it. Which is the thing about riding dirt bikes or adventure bikes, you got to stay on your game, or you can find yourself on the ground a whole lot faster than you anticipate. And that's even on a dual sport bike like this. Honestly, when I rode my Tiger through this way back when and tipped it over, I was kind of nervous all the way. I've just passed, by the way, on my right, a mountain bike trail. And I'm not really feeling nervous on this at all. Being on a dual sport on a road like this is kind of well within my comfort zone. Did a bit rocky, but still no problems. I'm almost wondering if the moon dust could have been in here somewhere. I kind of think it was, but I mean, I don't think there's moon dust here right now. I could ride the Tiger through here. There is a place in my garage for this bike and for the Tiger. When I get the urge, I want to do some longer ride somewhere. The Tiger is the one. You wouldn't want to do it on this. I say longer ride. I mean, if it's a longer street ride, maybe a little bit of dirt. Well, I'm definitely in second gear, and this is steep, and it's just chugging right up, no problems. So I'm just almost up to the Everett Memorial Highway. I will take a right turn on it and go up a little further towards Bunny Flats and all. And in fact, I've got time. I've got enough gasoline. I might go to Bunny Flats, turn around, and then do that other little connector dirt road back. I guess the other motivator from here is really not that far to get to Bunny Flats. I'll be kind of curious to see if they have opened up the road to the old ski bowl. I kind of doubt they will have. I'm sure it's all melted off by now, but I'm not sure that the National Forest wants to fool with it. Now on my right is the road that I will take back over to FR31, but I will make a run up to Bunny Flats first. If the road is open to the old ski bowl, I don't think I'm going to go up that high. But it'll be interesting to see if they've opened it. Motorcycle's got plenty of power for coming up a road like this. It's a pretty steep climb, but the speed's fairly low on it. I'm sure you get it broken in. Coming up this at 45 or 50 would be no big deal. Oh man, look at that lenticular cloud. That's actually formed by Mount Shasta, and it tells me the wind is blowing from the north to the south. And you get a little wave that comes over, it dips down a little bit, and then kicks back up, and that's where those lenticular clouds are today. If you go to the Mt Shasta Museum, which is also right by where they have the, what do they call it? The place where they grow all the trout that they stock a lot of lakes around here with. But that Mount Shasta Library has tons of lenticular cloud pictures like that, and articles about the lenticular clouds, how they form and so forth. It's quite interesting. I never lived in a place like this that had lenticular clouds all the time. And if I ever saw them over the years, I didn't see them very often, probably had no idea what I was looking at. And here's Bunny Flats, and I'm not going to go any further, even if that road is... Yeah, it says road closed 500 feet ahead. That doesn't surprise me. They just get to this time of year, and they just don't want to have to fool with the ski bowl. As usual, there's some folks up here. Well, I'll figure this out next spring, but the Tiger 900, that's definitely my street bike that can do connector dirt roads if need be, but I plan to keep it. I don't know how long, but it depends on if I still like doing those long road loop rides like out past Medicine Lake and Lassen National Park and Weaverville, Fort Jones and stuff like that. That's not something you could do on a klx230. You need your street bike, and that Tiger is a really good one. There we go. I did not miss my turn. All right. This is the other connector road. Overall, it's a much easier road than... Oh boy, you can't see cars coming around there at you. It's a little bit easier than the one I took over a little while ago. And it's funny, I did this, gosh, it wasn't all that long ago on the Tiger, I think, but on the Tiger this seemed challenging. It will not seem that way on this bike. And I'm on stuff that's a little bit slippery, a little bit wet, slightly muddy, not very much, not enough to sink in at all. But this has good traction. That is why I think I'm keeping the tires that are on it and wearing them out. No, riding on these forest roads on this is a joy. I'm liking it. With the new bars, the stand-up riding position now is really very good, so. Been standing up pretty much all the way on this, which hopefully that's what I'm going to start doing again on most of my forest road adventures. This gets up quite a bit higher than that first dirt connector road I took across, but so I'm seeing a little bit of ice and snow, but again, I don't think I'm going to get stopped. Now, I have been stopped on this road before by fallen trees blocking it. Now, once the snow melts off in spring, early summer, I'm sure I'm going to be adding to the list of forest roads that I've explored using this. There are a lot of them I didn't really want to take the klx300 up. Again, that bike was a little taller, so carried its weight a little higher. It was harder for me to lift it up when I tipped it over, although I could, but it was harder to get it turned around too when you get to one of these numerous situations on a forest route where you can't continue on, where I think this will be easier. Now, part of that too is that, in fairness to the klx300, I can't really do an honest comparison of how hard that was to pick up because my right knee was in such bad shape for most of the time I was riding that I really had trouble lifting up almost anything. And I'm seeing right now there's all kinds of things that I can do, especially on lifting with a stronger knee, that I was having trouble with for quite a while. All these little roads I see around here that I have not checked out, which I may be doing someday. Also, why I did replace that old Delorme inReach I had that finally died. And got a new Garmin inReach Mini 2 because I am transmitting my location to Joline. So if I don't show up for a while, she knows where to start the search. That's the kind of thing that I get much more nervous if I'm on the Tiger. Again, these more dirt-oriented tires help a lot. And I've gone over a lot of stuff like that with the Tigers, not like I haven't. This day is warming up. I am back to FR31. Go left, I'd be heading towards the ski park, and going right, I'm heading back into town. And I guess that's what I'm doing. And now see what my gas mileage was. It's going to be pretty darn high. So I went 87.4 miles, and I used 0.94 gallons. Ooh. 87.4 divide by 0.940. 92.97. Let's call that 93 miles per gallon. That's better than last time, and I thought it might have been worse. 93 miles per gallon. Like, wow. And that tank was as full as I could get it, so there you go. This thing really sips the fuel. Well, I never got anywhere close to that many miles per gallon on the klx230. Even going easy on the break-in, I think I might have got 65, maybe 70. But good gosh, 93 miles per gallon. First fill-up was a little over 76, and now 93. Wow.